Hello YouTube, this is Charlie426 and today we have something new from 52 Toys. Today we have the review of something that is called the Psychotrain. Now this is not a beastbox line because this does not transform into a cube, but it does come with a beastbox inside the 4cm smaller version as well, because usual beastbox would be 5cm. But once again, this is also not beast drive because once again it's a large train, not exactly a car or vehicle that we actually see. So, and if it was beast drive, we'd be getting the BD symbol, but we are getting now something called BMM. So this is as far as I know, is an entirely new line, and there's already like two more products being waited to be released. One is a tractor that can transform into a mantis type thing, and then there's another one that's also transforms into a train, if I remember correctly, or a larger vehicle that transforms into a mammoth or a giant elephant, one of those two things as well. So once again, this is one of those first things, and if you were one of the lucky ones who were able to go to the Wonder Festival, and I think it was in China, or you should have been able to actually get this really early, like 1 or 2 months earlier. So yeah, unfortunately I was not lucky to go there, so I waited until it actually released and I got one. So let's see what we got. So once again, because of the size of the thing, I was not able to bring out my rotating stand, but once again, here is the box. Definitely we have this really cool looking mech here, and then on the back of the box here we have all the small details and descriptions going on here as well. So let's get rid of the box and let's see what we got. So here we have the Psychotrain. Now I would like to mention, once you get the product and open the box, it should be in its mecha mode or robot mode, but once again I think it would be much nicer to start in its train mode. So yeah, so here we go. So first of all, what you get, of course, is obviously Psychotrain itself. Now, Psychotrain is composed of 2 units, the mech itself, and also the small elephant beast box that we get here. So currently it's on the train, but once again, now you would think the train would be like a parts former. Now, technically, depending on how you look at it, that is true. But once again, here we have the small elephant beast box, and here we have the train. Now the transformation of the transforming the train to the mech form actually doesn't really require any parts forming. Everything actually is here. It all connects everything very well. But once again, the only thing that you need that is a parts forming aspect is the head part, which is this guy. So once again, before we go into any more detail, let's see what else we get. So because we get a 4cm beast box, they actually do include this. This is a mold where, since if you put a 4cm beast box inside a 5cm cube box charger, it's going to be all rattling around. So for those who don't like this, is basically you can get one of these, and so it includes one of these, so you can slide in a 4cm beast box like this, and then now it can go inside a box charger without any rattling going on here. So yeah, so for those who need these, pretty good. And then once again, we still get the typical catalogs, all advertisement stuff, so no big deal there. And then here we have the card. Definitely looking cool card here. Now this whole mech thing is called Psychotrain, but once again, as far as I know, the small elephant, that part is the head. I don't think it has a specific name. It only just says head on here. And let's actually look at the instruction manual here. So I've transformed it a few times, but once again, it just says beast mode here. I've been looking around, and yeah, it doesn't really give out a specific name for this small elephant. So, oh well. All right, so let's look at the train first. So here we have the train. Definitely looking cool. I really like the concept of like a modular-ish train going on here. So so here on the train itself, we're looking at the side. Everything that you get, or that's meant for the mech or robot form, is inside the train. So you actually get this mace type weapon. It's actually integrated into the train as well. Granted, the chain here may look a little bit messy right over here. There are actually chains here right over here, so that's that. The Gatling guns are on the bottom here, and then once again, it's everything just well hidden. So the train here, there's not much moving parts, like, because these wheels aren't actually wheels, they're just made to look like wheels, so no big deal there. So you can't really say it rolls, but you can kind of get the illusion of that. So with the elephant, you have this peg here, and there's another peg there on there. So you can plug it in and have one here, and if you have another 4cm beast box, you can just plug it right there. Now this one doesn't actually plug, you just lie it there, but once again, because of these extra stubs here, it actually gets in place pretty well done. So I would say that is a pretty fun function. So yeah, in terms of articulation, you could pretty much say there's none in this form because it's a train. It doesn't have any arms or legs. Now, let's do a quick look at the elephant beast box, or a smaller one. So I did review something called MoMA some time ago. That was the original. I'm kind of hoping that the gigantic one that's coming up soon, that transforms into another train or something else, is like the 2.0 version of that, because it's been a while since I had any updates of that, so I might be remembering it wrong. But once again, let's see what we got. So let's see, we can push this body down here, push these down there, and then we can actually get the legs out. So 4cm ones are usually very simple in terms of transformation, so you shouldn't have too much difficulty in terms of like getting these stuff transformed. So once again, we get the nose out, we pull out the head, we get the ears out, and then rotate the head, and then we plug it in. I think it has to go on the top. There we go. There we go. And we have the elephant. Oh, and make sure you get the tusks out. So yeah, so here we have the elephant. Very simple transformation. This is practically what becomes the head of the mech. Once again, no, I mean there is a tail, but it's just barely there. And then here we have that peg for the connection. So the legs are just on, on these joints, so it can go forward and backward as well and fall all the way in. But that's for the transformation, and the legs can go as far as in front of that one. For the front legs, back also that much as well. Now the head, as you saw, it is able to rotate, but right now in the end of the transformation you have to plug it around here, which locks it into place. But if you don't mind, you can also rotate the head if you want to do so. And then also the tusks here are also individually articulated, so you have one joint here in the inside, and then here we have another joint on the end tip here. And then there's supposed to be a mid, it looks like there's supposed to be another mid joint here, but either that, mine's just very stiff, it's because it does not want to move at all. Same goes for the other side, so that's that. And the tusk also, and then the nose itself has a little bit of articulation here, so there's one joint there, and then another joint at the end, so yeah. So in order to make this guy into the head, the transformation is fairly similar, but once again, as far as I know, it's just basically do this, and then fold the ears inside, and then plug. And then you can see there's another peg there, another hole there, just connected like that. You're supposed to push it all the way in there. So the joints inside here is slightly complicated, but once again, you get the you get the gist of it. So yeah. So this is roughly how you prepare the head, as far as I remember. But once again, I'll fix it if it needs more stuff. So once again, that's that. Alright, so for the train, I'm not going to show you guys the transformation process because it may take a little bit longer, because I haven't actually memorized everything, but basically it involves open up the legs, fold here, and then you combine, pull out the arms, and you're good to go. So I'll be right back with the mech mode. Okay, I'm back. So here we have the train transformed into its mech mode. So once again, there's no actually parts forming on the train itself. The only parts forming aspect is the head, because the head itself is a separate unit. So once again, I think for the transformation of the train itself, once you get the hang of it, I think like maybe after 3 to 4 times, you should be able to get used to the overall transformation. Because I wouldn't say there's any fragile parts, but there is one potential part that you can accidentally break, because the joint itself is just so stiff, and it's like a multi-joint because it's connected to another joint. So once you move if you move one joint, it affects the other one. So there's this T-shaped joint here, which is extremely stiff. So I haven't been able to pull it out, but if you can pull it out, maybe sand it a bit or maybe oil a bit so that you get that comfortable joint feel, because for now I feel like I need to be extremely careful when moving it because it's just so stiff. Alright, so here we have the overall mech. Let's slap on the head. So here is the head. So make sure, if you want to connect it to the lower hole, make sure that the joints here are in the correct position, because once again, they could be a little bit too flexible, so they might not want to be in the right position at the time. So once again, we have the hole in a very odd position, but here's the hole, and then there is a peg on the head area. So all you need to do is just pretty much connect the connect the two, and you're good to go. So once again, here we have like a very SD-ish style mech going on, but keep in mind this is not a small unit. So here is a 4 centimeter perfect cube, so you can see that it's like there's like 5 of it. It's stacked, so about 20 centimeters, not exactly 20, but you know, it's at least taller than a typical 1-to-144 scale HG Gunpla kit as well. Alright, so now let's get over to the articulation here and what else we got. So let's start with the head. Now you would think everything would be very articulated, but because this is a transforming unit and more like a combiner at the same time, there are a lot of compromises in terms of articulation here. So the head, obviously there's no rotation here because this part here on the back is entirely connected to back of the head is connected to the back as well, and even so, because of the transformation aspect, there's no way to actually rotate it here. So that's that. But once again, if you want to close the ears, you can do that if you want to do so. But once again, it always tells you to open up the ears when it's in its mech mode. So I guess that's like a signature look, and to also kind of to replace the smaller ears of the elephant on the head. That's that. Alright, now let's get the back here. So the back, there's not much going on here. There's a lot of stuff here, but once again, at this point, this is all pretty much kibble going on here as well. And let's look at the arms. So now, before we go to the body, let's look at the arms. So once again, here we have the actual arm, and we have this white part that looks like shoulder armor. So the white part is actually connected to the main body, so no need to worry about that. So the arm itself, and it also has its own shoulder armor is a separate thing. So once again, articulation wise, you can rotate this 360 as well, and you can, as you can see, you can pull it out to have another hole here. So if you have any other parts that can replace this peg, you can totally make it into your own, you know, customizable mech as well. Because I believe in the instruction manual, at the end section of the robot, they do tell you that you have potential combination aspects. Like for example, you can detach the entire leg and slap the scorpion legs from Huracan there, or you can slap off the hands and then attach a cannon, or just bring out someone else's arm and slightly and then reattach it as well. So there are some customization value here, but once again, that's that. And let me just get back to reconnecting this. So rotation is possible. Going to the side about 90 degrees is also possible. The arm actually, the arm itself is able to rotate, and that's not a very good squeak. But once again, another part you can detach if you want to do so. And then bend wise, you do get about 90 degrees bend going on here. Now the armor might, you know, cover that up, but that's that. And then for the hands, they are able to rotate 360 if you want to do so. But once again, the Gatling gun might get in the way. Now the hands look like they can open up, but no, the only part that actually is movable is the sub. But this is mostly for the transformation as well. And that is a very painful noise to hear. And once again, here we have the Gatling gun. This is also attached to a peg here on the bottom, so it's not actually a handle thing. So let me just get this out. So here we have the Gatling gun. Yes, it can kind of rotate on its own if you want to do so, and it can also fold in half. But once again, this is mostly for the train mode as well. So let me just get that out of the way. Alright, so that's that. Now let's look at the body. Now the body, you may think there might be some sort of articulation like rotation or ab crunch. No, it's just a single solid piece. So that's that. And then now we have the legs. So once again, no rotation here, but we do get some articulation on the leg. So once again, we have this joint here, which if you want to, you can pull down the leg, but if you do that, it's going to look a little bit awkward for its size and look. So make sure the legs are on the side in terms of the joints. But once again, because of that, we do have a nice side swivel going on here, and then we get a very nice spread. I guess depending on the position of the legs, you can go a little bit more, but I just wanted to point that out. And then going backward is possible because there's no back skirt, and going to the going to the side, once again, no problem because there's no side skirt. Going to the front, also no problem as well. You can see the feet is empty, so that might bother a few people, but oh well. And then, despite how it looks, yes, you do get actually a 90-degree bend, so that's pretty good. And as you can see, you can detach the leg itself, pop the leg off, or if you want to do so, I believe you can pop off the entire leg if you want to do so as well. So once again, if you have any other parts that you want to slap on here, it is technically possible because there's also a hole here. So go nuts. And then for the feet, now the feet is pretty much non-existent, but if you need slightly of a pivot, you can pull out these red parts and give it a certain angle here. So I wouldn't say they're the best effective way, but you know what, better than nothing. So they do get the job done slightly. Just make sure that the red parts are actually firm on the ground, and make sure you're balancing the overall thing, because this guy is a chunky unit, so balancing the kit, balancing the figure in certain poses might be very tricky. So that's that. Alright, and finally we have the mace. Yeah, let me just get this guy on the ground firmly, because he likes to tilt over and over as well. Alright, let me just get this guy there. For some reason it is not working. There we go. So here we have the mace. The chain is slightly on the short end, but but once again, if it's long, it's just going to be dangling all over the place. So, and then I assume in the train section, when attaching to the train, if it's too long, it might get in the way of the combination as well. So there's no extensions here. You would think you can pull this out, but no. So we have the handle. All you need to do is just pretty much plug it into the hand. As well, and make sure, one thing I've noticed is that some parts do fall off a little bit easily. These are like C-clip type joints, so you just need to clip it back on. But once again, depending on the position, it may fall off a little bit easily. But anyway, once again, we have the handle into the hand, and then now you have a chain mace. Pretty cool, but once again, I always find these type of chain weapons difficult to display unless you have like a very specific action base or effect part as well. And that is pretty much it for the unit. So once again, I would say this is a very cool concept. But once again, in terms, if you were looking for some like really nice articulation for certain poses, that might get a little bit tricky. But once again, it's all about practice. And if you could get used to like some of its like short or wonky portions, I guess some parts would definitely work out as well. But once again, I bought this because I really like the concept, and I'm just a big general fan of 5.2 toys and looking for what else they are to offer. So like I said, there are a lot more products that are about to come out that aren't beastbox as well. Because once again, beastbox started everything. Now they're going for they're adventuring for other like possible styles and designs. Like they had beastbox, and now we have the 7 centimeters of beastbox, and now they have beast drive, and now these. So I'm really looking forward for what else to come out in the future. And once again, 2025, there's already a lot of cool stuff to come out that's been announced. So I'm looking forward for it. Anyway, that was pretty much it for the review. This was the 5.2 Toys new lineup, and I'm not sure what the exact name is going to be. But once again, this thing is called the Psychotrain. Now, if you were lucky to get a Wonderfest, good for you. But once again, you can now get this on like AliExpress as well, because it is now officially released. Once again, thank you for watching. If you guys found this helpful, do let me know as well. And then if you have any questions or requests, please let me know in the comments. I still have more stuff to buy and build and make reviews out, so please stay tuned. Until then, see you guys next time.